If you have a 9 and a 5 within your date of birth, I'm going to show you what that means within Vedic numerology because it means something very specific. We see this through the Vedic grid. I'm going to show you how to create the grid because there's an additional number that we add in. And so I'm going to show you how to get this example date of birth into the grid. I do have another video that goes farther back in detail about the Vedic grid. And also to book a reading or a relationship compatibility reading with me, you can click the link in my bio. Okay, so here we go with this date of birth. So the 5 will go here because that's the month of May. The 5 goes here. Always follow this pattern to the right when putting the numbers in. The 18th of the month, the 1 goes here, the 8 goes here. If there is a double digit for the date of birth, with the exception of the 10th, 20th, or 30th, add those two numbers together and put them into the grid as well. So the 18th, the 1 plus 8 becomes 9, put that into the grid. And then the year of birth, never put the first two numbers of the year into the grid, only the last two. That's a 7 and a 5. So the 7 goes here, a 5 goes here. The final piece when creating the grid is to add up all the numbers and condense it down to one number. It's known as the life path number or the destiny number. That's what we call it in the Vedic system. I use them interchangeably. Okay, so this person has a life path number of 9. So we put this into the grid. So now that the grid is completed, we can see that this person does have a 9 and a 5 within their date of birth. This is known as a yoga. Yogas within Vedic numerology are when there are certain combinations of numbers, they create a specific set of personality traits for someone. And so within the Vedic grid, every number corresponds a planet because within Vedic numerology, we can never separate it from Vedic astrology. And so because every number is connected to a planet, we can then see oppositions, conjunctions, squares. We do it by seeing it through the numbers. And so again, certain combinations of numbers gives very specific personality traits. So the 9-5 yoga within Vedic numerology is known as a yoga of great intelligence. There are other ways to see intelligence through Vedic numerology, but the 9-5 yoga is the one that shows huge amounts of intelligence. Now, it doesn't matter if there's just 1 9 and 1 5 or multiple 9s and 5s, that great intelligence yoga is there. Obviously, the more that there is an increase in 5s or 9s, the higher the intelligence is. And so here is why a 9 and a 5 together creates great intelligence. It's because number 5 is Mercury. That's our ability to analyze and synthesize information. It's intelligence, it's the intellect, and it's in conjunction with number 9, Mars. And Mars is passion and drive and power. And so number 9 is pushing that number 5 mercurial energy into overdrive. And so intelligence is off the chart with these people. So let's talk about some of the other things that are going to happen with this yoga. So like I said, it's great intelligence, but this is also excellent communication abilities, both verbal and written. These people are incredibly witty and really understand the nuances of jokes that may have flown over other people's heads. They're chatty. They're able to find a common thread with everyone and really connect with other people, especially in verbal conversations. Having this yoga makes someone really good at business and financial decisions. Why? Because number 5 Mercury is business as well as liquid assets. And then number 9 Mars is putting all of that into overdrive. Now, I do want to mention whenever I discuss a yoga, that's the foundational energy for a person, and having other numbers in the date of birth and how they're interacting with the yoga can change the flavor of that yoga. But again, this is just the foundation and what to expect. So because these people are so good at business and Mercury is our ability to analyze, they can frequently solve problems if they're having business challenges. They can usually come up with the answers on their own and don't necessarily need to go outside and find solutions as to what to do because they're going to be hard pressed for someone to come up with a better solution than they can, because the 9 and the 5 is great at problem solving, right? Number 5 Mercury is the ability to analyze and critique things, and Mars is pushing that into overdrive. So they're excellent problem solvers, both for themselves and for others. This 9-5 yoga, like I said, it makes someone be able to find a common thread with everyone, but they're also really street smart. They're not gullible. You're not going to be able to pull a fast one over on these people. One thing I do want to mention is that they need to really be careful with their words, right? Because number 5 is our words and number 9, Mars, is aggression. And so especially if there is more than one 9 within this grid, especially if you're born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of any month, and then you have another 9 coming in, you really have to watch your words. Your words are very powerful and piercing, and because you have such a strong command of both the written and verbal language, which is great, right? When you're, needing to write or speak, your communication abilities are like out of this world, but you have to be careful in how you speak because your words can really hurt people. One thing though that's positive on the other spectrum of that is the 9-5 makes someone very introspective. And so even if it takes them some time to do so, they can usually realize like, wow, I made a mistake. They can take responsibility for this. Again, other numbers can change the flavor of that, but in general, these people really are able to be self-reflective about their actions, right? Because number 5, Mercury, is that introspection. Last thing I wanted to mention is that if you have multiple 5s, this makes you really, really good at business. Just keep an eye out for ethics because you are so intelligent. You could use your intelligence to be unethical in business. So just watch out for that. But besides those things, this yoga is so excellent to have. You're really fortunate if you have it, right? You're incredibly intelligent. You're a great problem solver. You can connect with other people. I did want to mention that this example date of birth, this is actually the grid for singer-songwriter Jack Johnson. He is really smart. I do have some other videos farther back if you're interested more on the 9-5 yoga. It's world's most famous celebrities. So Andre 3000 from Outkast has this yoga. He is crazy smart. Kris Jenner from the Kardashian clan, she has this. And then also I did one on Caleb Williams, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. He's like over the top smart too. Let me know if you have any questions, and to book a reading, you can reach me on my website at brooknumerology.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you for the next video. We'll do another yoga and what it means if you have that. See you later. Bye.